Before Adam and Eve ever took that fateful bite, the world was pure, untouched, and full of promise. But the moment they disobeyed, original sin erupted, pain and labor became their reality, and the fall of man reshaped everything we thought we knew about life. Imagine the shock, the trembling fear, the raw weight of God's judgment settling over their hearts. No one talks about the depth of this moment, yet it changed the destiny of every human being. Why did God decree that Eve would bear children through unimaginable pain, and that Adam would toil endlessly on a cursed earth? Could there be hidden truths about human responsibility and the consequences of disobedience that have been buried for centuries? The secrets of sin and punishment in the Bible are not just stories. They are living lessons that still whisper to us today, guiding how we endure suffering, embrace labor, and seek spiritual growth. In this video, you will uncover the real meaning behind Adam's labor curse and Eve's childbirth pain. You will witness how biblical punishment is more than pain. It is a path to resilience, understanding, and healing. You will learn why every act of sin carries weight, and how the lessons from Genesis can transform your life, your choices, and your connection with God. Comment below. Have you ever faced a moment where the consequences of your choices shook your world? Like, subscribe, and join the journey to explore the profound truths hidden within the fall of man. The garden was a sanctuary of innocence, where Adam and Eve walked freely under the golden sunlight, every leaf whispering harmony, every breeze carrying serenity. But in a single heartbeat, everything shifted. The moment Eve reached for the fruit, drawn by the cunning promise of knowledge, and Adam followed, the fall of man was sealed. Original sin surged through the garden like an unstoppable storm, and the world as they knew it fractured. Imagine the terror, the shock of their hearts, the raw ache of knowing they had crossed a line that would echo through eternity. This was not merely about eating a fruit. It was about the betrayal of trust, the rebellion against God's perfect order, and the awakening to human responsibility. Every choice, every temptation carries weight, and this moment reminds us how fragile innocence can be. Today, in our lives, we face countless forbidden fruits, decisions that seem harmless, driven by curiosity, ambition, or desire, yet every choice sets off ripples. A simple lie, a shortcut, a moment of impatience. These are the modern echoes of Adam and Eve's decision. They teach us that awareness and accountability are the cornerstones of spiritual growth. As they stood, exposed and trembling, we begin to understand the gravity of disobedience and the undeniable pull of temptation. Their story invites us to reflect. What are the fruits we are reaching for today, and do we understand the consequences of taking them? This awakening naturally leads us to the next chapter, the divine judgment that reshaped their existence and carved lessons into every fiber of human life. The voice of God rang through the garden like thunder, and yet carried the weight of sorrow, piercing the very air Adam and Eve breathed. Every word of judgment was precise, unyielding, and suffused with meaning. Eve would endure excruciating pain in bringing forth life, and Adam would labor endlessly, struggling against a cursed earth. Pain and labor became the instruments of their education, the tangible reminders of original sin and human responsibility. This was not punishment in the vengeful sense. It was a profound lesson embedded in the very fabric of reality. Every human endeavor would now be shadowed by effort, every joy tempered with toil, every new life ushered in through sacrifice. Picture Adam striking the soil, day after day, sweat mingling with dust, learning resilience through struggle. See Eve, carrying life within her, every contraction a testament to endurance, a bridge between sin and redemption. These experiences are mirrored today in the relentless challenges we face, raising children, building careers, healing broken hearts. The curse transforms into a calling, to understand effort, to respect the process, and to embrace the trials that shape character. There is a hypnotic rhythm in this lesson, a pattern of cause and effect that resonates across millennia. The fall teaches that suffering is not meaningless. It is an invitation to awaken, to cultivate patience, and to discover inner strength we never knew existed. As Adam and Eve processed the weight of their reality, they also discovered the first hints of wisdom, the recognition that life's trials are entwined with opportunity, and that the seeds of growth often germinate in soil watered by pain. This divine decree naturally flows into the profound symbolism of childbirth, where Eve's suffering carries not only a curse, but the miraculous promise of life. Eve's pain in childbirth became the first tangible testament to the intersection of suffering and creation. Every contraction was a pulse of the universe, every breath a meditation on endurance, every tear a silent prayer whispered to the heavens. The Bible captures this truth, not to frighten but to illuminate. Suffering and creation are inseparable, and through pain, life asserts its profound value. Consider the modern mother, standing in a hospital room, gripping her child's tiny hand, every muscle tense, every heartbeat racing. She mirrors Eve's journey across the millennia, embodying resilience, courage, and the sacred power of bringing forth life. Pain here is not mere punishment. It is transformative, a crucible where strength, love, and empathy are forged. In every society, every culture, the birth of life carries echoes of Eve's lesson. The act of creation demands vulnerability, endurance, and reverence. And just as Eve's suffering bore the promise of a new generation, our personal trials, moments of fear, heartbreak, or failure, carry hidden gifts. They teach us empathy, ignite courage, and deepen our capacity to love and understand. The Bible's storytelling urges us to see beyond the surface, to recognize the profound beauty woven into every trial. This understanding flows seamlessly into the symbolism of Adam's labor, connecting the toil of the earth with the toil of the soul, and reminding us that pain and labor are threads of the same divine tapestry, guiding humanity towards spiritual growth and enduring wisdom. Adam lifted his hands to the soil, feeling the weight of the world pressing down, the earth resisting every movement, yet his spirit refusing to break. The curse of labor was not simply about digging or planting, it was a lesson carved into the very essence of life. Every drop of sweat that fell onto the cursed ground was a testimony of resilience, a mirror reflecting the trials that every human soul would face. Imagine farmers at dawn, breaking the frozen earth, entrepreneurs wrestling with uncertainty, parents navigating sleepless nights. All modern echoes of Adam's toil. This labor teaches us that effort is sacred, that struggle is not punishment, but transformation. Each task, no matter how menial, carries the potential to shape character, cultivate patience, and awaken purpose. The soil teaches humility, and the act of labor is a bridge between mortality and meaning, linking our hands to the rhythm of creation itself. The Bible whispers this truth across generations. There is glory in perseverance, and within hardship lies the seed of mastery, growth, and healing. Every human challenge, every obstacle faced, carries the DNA of Adam's curse, a chance to discover endurance, empathy, and the inner fire that burns brightest when the night is longest. And as Adam's story unfolds, we are drawn inevitably to the sacred balance between pain and labor and the human heart, guiding us to understand the deeper rhythms of relationships, responsibility, and divine order. Eve's pain and Adam's labor intersected not just with survival, but with the sacred dance of partnership, trust, and shared destiny. Pain and labor shaped the very structure of human relationships, teaching respect, collaboration, and empathy. Consider couples who build a life together, navigating the storms of emotion, financial strain, and parenthood. Their victories and setbacks mirror the eternal lessons embedded in Genesis. The Bible reveals that suffering and effort are not merely burdens. They are instruments that craft bonds, deepen understanding, and illuminate the delicate power of intimacy and mutual responsibility. When a mother leans on her partner during childbirth, when a father works tirelessly to provide, each act resonates with the original story, echoing across time to remind us that love and labor are inseparable. These trials challenge us to honor the roles we inhabit, to recognize the sacred weight of every shared responsibility, and to embrace both vulnerability and strength. Pain becomes teaching, labor becomes blessing, and every human connection gains depth through endurance and sacrifice. The narrative whispers to us today, in every partnership, in every union, the sacred interplay of effort, empathy, and courage transforms lives, and understanding this rhythm allows hearts to heal, relationships to thrive, and humanity to honor the lessons carved into existence since the dawn of time. This understanding naturally flows into the exploration of the spiritual and ethical consequences that stem from the fall, guiding us toward the deeper wisdom the Bible intends for all generations. The weight of Adam and Eve's choices rippled far beyond the garden, touching the very core of human existence, embedding lessons of morality, responsibility, and spiritual awakening into the fibers of life itself. Original sin was not just an event. It became the lens through which all human actions could be measured, the invisible thread that binds every decision to consequence. Picture every human struggle, every moral dilemma, every moment when we stand at the edge of choice. These are echoes of the fall, whispers of the ancient story urging reflection and growth. Adam's sweat-stained hands and Eve's labor-worn body became symbols not only of endurance, but of the profound ethical responsibility carried by each human soul. Today, parents guiding children through the storms of life, leaders making choices that affect thousands, and even the small silent acts of kindness or selfishness, each mirrors the spiritual lessons first revealed in Genesis. The Bible teaches that suffering, remorse, and accountability are sacred teachers, shaping character and awakening conscience. When a young adult confronts failure, when a worker perseveres despite setbacks, when a family heals after conflict, these moments carry the DNA of the original story, revealing that spiritual growth emerges most powerfully through challenge. Pain transforms into wisdom, labor into insight, and the shadow of disobedience illuminates the path to empathy, resilience, and divine alignment. As we follow the ripple of Adam and Eve's story, we see clearly that the spiritual and ethical consequences of choices are inseparable from the human experience, guiding each generation toward responsibility, healing, and the recognition of life's sacred rhythms. This reflection naturally flows into our understanding of the lessons from the fall in the context of modern life, showing how ancient truths continue to shape contemporary existence. Every heartbeat, every struggle, every triumph in today's world mirrors the sacred truths unveiled in the Garden of Eden. The curse of pain and labor is alive in the challenges of modern life, whether in the relentless effort to build a career, the sleepless devotion of parents raising children, or the quiet perseverance of those facing illness, loss, or injustice. Original sin and the consequences of disobedience are no longer just stories. They are living lessons, reflected in every decision we make and every path we choose. Imagine a young entrepreneur facing failure, feeling the weight of responsibility and uncertainty, yet rising each day with courage. The same resilience Adam had when confronting the cursed soil, the same endurance Eve embodied as she brought forth life. These experiences illuminate that suffering is not meaningless. It is transformative, a crucible for personal growth, spiritual strength, and empathy. In relationships, the same principles apply. Love, trust, sacrifice, and shared effort form the sacred dance that binds hearts together. Challenges test our patience, perseverance, and moral integrity, yet they also offer the opportunity to heal, to learn, and to deepen our understanding of human connection. The Bible's wisdom resonates in our modern lives. Every choice carries consequence, every trial carries teaching, and every act of labor or love holds the potential for spiritual enlightenment. As we navigate the complexities of today's world, Adam and Eve's story continues to whisper, reminding us that through responsibility, endurance, and ethical action, we honor the sacred rhythm of life, nurture the soul, and create a legacy of resilience and grace. Comment below your experiences. How has facing hardship revealed strength, taught you empathy, or transformed your life? Like and subscribe to join this journey of reflection, insight, and spiritual growth. Adam and Eve's story does not end in the garden. It reverberates through every heartbeat of humanity, every challenge we face, every moment where the weight of responsibility presses on our shoulders. The fall of man was not just an ancient event. It was the beginning of a journey, a blueprint for understanding the profound connection between choice, consequence, and spiritual growth. Pain and labor became the teachers, shaping souls with lessons that stretch beyond time, echoing in the sweat of our toil, in the intensity of childbirth, in the relentless pursuit of purpose. Every human being carries a fragment of that first awakening. The tension between desire and obedience, curiosity and caution, freedom and responsibility. When we confront our own struggles, whether in careers, relationships, or inner battles of morality, we are walking the same path that Adam and Eve began. The soil under our hands, the challenges in our lives, the trials that seem unbearable, they are not random. They are invitations to awaken to our potential, to transform suffering into resilience, to discover the sacred power within endurance. Every effort we make, every choice we face, is imbued with the echoes of divine teaching, that hardship carries wisdom, that labor cultivates strength, that pain can illuminate purpose. Eve's childbirth, Adam's toil, the sweat, the tears, the sleepless nights of human existence, they are symbols, mirrors of our own struggles, reminding us that every act of perseverance, every moment of courage, becomes part of a tapestry woven by God's unseen hand. Imagine the young parent rising before dawn, the worker confronting obstacles that seem insurmountable, the soul wrestling with regret and fear, and recognize that these moments are echoes of Eden, calls to embrace responsibility, compassion, and spiritual fortitude. The lessons are as practical as they are eternal. To honor labor as sacred, to see struggle as transformative, to recognize that every consequence is an opportunity to grow, to heal, to align with the divine rhythm of life. In relationships, in communities, in the quiet moments when life tests our patience, we see reflections of Adam and Eve's awakening, reminders that the sacred dance of cooperation, empathy, and resilience shapes not only our destiny, but the lives of those we touch. Original sin is not a condemnation. It is an invitation to awaken, to recognize the power of choice, to cultivate virtue, and to embrace the challenges that reveal the deepest capacities of the human heart. As we navigate the complexities of our world, facing injustice, failure, heartbreak, and triumph, the story of Adam and Eve whispers, endurance, empathy, and spiritual insight are forged in the crucible of experience. Pain and labor are not punishments alone. They are pathways to understanding, to compassion, to personal transformation. Every trial carries a seed of wisdom. Every hardship holds a spark of divine insight. Every act of perseverance is a step closer to recognizing our place within the sacred order of life. Let us honor the sweat, the tears, the labor, the courage, and the love that echo from the garden into our lives today, finding healing in struggle, insight in challenge, and light in the shadows. Comment below and share how you faced trials that revealed strength you didn't know you had. how choices carried consequences that reshaped your path, how pain and labor taught lessons of endurance, empathy, and spiritual awakening. If this message brings a spark to your heart, a glimmer of hope in difficult moments, you can lend a little of your energy to keep this light alive, nurturing more stories that illuminate God's truth, encouraging reflection, growth, and the recognition of the sacred rhythm that connects all of humanity. Every effort, every reflection, every act of learning and compassion is precious, carrying the essence of the garden into the present moment, reminding us that the journey from innocence through choice, struggle, and awakening is both deeply human and profoundly sacred.